Scream 4. Proof that being a victim gets you nowhere. Stay tuned. Welcome. I'm John Canopener.
And I'm James Wang.
And together we are Rock Hard. And today what we're talking about is Scream 4, a little film that came out in 2011. And I'm going to have James take it away with some facts.
Now, it's pretty known that this movie came out a long time, 11 years after the third one. Bit of a surprise. I was 11 when this shit came out.
I was 11 when my dad left.
Goddamn. Really?
No.
Oh.
I was 9.
Not 11?
No shit, huh?
Alright, anyway. For this first fact, this one's gonna shock you. So it's about Dewey's missing limp. There's a fact about this one. It just happens to be a negative.
Okay.
But before we get into the negative, let me tell you guys about the fact about Dewey's limp. So it says, after being stabbed toward the end of the first Scream, our favorite Deputy Dewey had a limp as a result of the wound. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So you might have noticed that his limp is gone in Scream 4. A script note explained that it was because he had gone through years of physical therapy. Although that was never mentioned in the finished product, it could be that the 11-year gap between Scream 3 and 4 amount to a lot of physical therapy work, or maybe David Arquette just didn't want the limp anymore. So in the script note, it was that he went through years of physical therapy.
Okay, we're going to get into this later, but okay, good fact. I believe, call a little bullshit on this because in a future movie, he has a limp magically again, so.
I mean, I don't know, but yeah, that was kind of funny because we were just talking about it. We were just talking about it, and
we'll see.
Yeah. All right, going on for the next fact. Deputy Haas.
Yes.
Okay. In an earlier version of the script, Deputy Haas, played by Adam Brody, was one of the killers. It's unclear whether he would have been a third killer or taken someone else's place. Either way, it would have been the first time in the franchise where one of the killers was a member of the police. This is after countless speculation of Deputy Dewey turning evil. Who knows? Maybe he's a killer in the next installment. This is a bit old, by the way. This was like, I think around when the movie came out. I was trying to find stuff before Scream 5 and Scream 6, so this is what came up. So obviously we know that Dewey is not here. And
this is only true if you don't go along with our theory about Kincaid and Roman.
Yeah.
Then we have a cop on the inside, but we'll see how that goes.
Which, by the way, if you haven't seen that, go ahead and watch that.
Go ahead and check it out.
Next one. This next fact I thought was a little bit weird and interesting.
Go for it.
So, it says, typically in horror movies, prop knives are used by the killers. They're made out of all sorts of material, from cardboard to plastic, and often collapse to make it look like the blade has entered the body during a stabbing. Wes Craven had enough of the fakes. Though, asserting that they didn't look like the real thing, for Scream 4, he went with a CGI knife instead. A first for the franchise.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So in Scream 4, there were CGI knives. Could you tell the difference?
No.
Could you tell the difference? It's crazy, right?
That's crazy. That's trippy. Because when we were just watching this right now, by the way, check this out. Represent that shit. Oh, shit. Okay. But anyway, after watching Scream 4, yeah, the moment when Jill stabs herself against the wall and she fucking pushes herself on the thing, when she stabs herself, I saw that shit going and I was like, God,
that shit went way too easy. Yeah.
And I was trying to figure it out. I was like, there must be like halfway retractable blade, not the full thing, just halfway retractable that goes in. But I guess that's how they did it, the CG. But it looked good as shit.
Yeah.
Damn, I guess CG works if it's tiny.
Now, you're probably thinking that's the end of it, right? False. I have one more.
Yeah, go for it.
Because Scream 4 facts. Last fact. This one's about our boy, Kevin Williamson. All right? Kevin Williamson was lauded as a slasher revival visionary after penning the original Scream, but his time with the franchise has been fraught ever since. He wrote Scream 2, but had too many other commitments for Scream 3.
I know we did last summer.
Even so, he wrote an outline for it that was pretty much thrown out entirely by successor Aaron Kruger. With Scream 4, he was available and ready to go, only for producers to fight him every step of the way. In the end, they brought Kruger in again to fix Williams' script. Though he remained uncredited, needless to say, Williamson was pissed.
I had zero idea. Maybe that's why some stuff doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
We got some stuff to talk about later. But yeah, wow, weird.
That's
I thought
fucking crazy.
All I've heard is Kevin Williamson wrote this. I had no idea that
Aaron Kruger.
the dude from Scream 3 came in.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, he's fucking this up. We need Scream 3 guy in here. Who would ever say that? Even though we like Scream 3. But yeah, wow. Insane. Yeah. Crazy. Did you guys know those facts? Because I sure as fuck didn't. And, yeah, they're pretty mind-blowing to me. Yeah, that last one really gets me.
Yeah, that's
crazy. Crazy. And he said producers were fucking with him?
Yep, they were trying to fight him with every way. And they're like, all right, do what you want to do then.
See, this is what happens. See, you guys have to realize, a lot of the times, it's not the director or the writer's fault that the movies come out like shit sometimes. It's because studio meddling. It's people getting in the way of a final product. Can you imagine how frustrating that would be if you're a director and you have this vision, you have this whole story, you found a writer, it's great, you love it, and it's like, yeah, if we do exactly this, it's going to be badass. And then the studio comes in and says, nah.
You have head honchos like looking over your
Producers
shoulder.
are throwing out the cash. They're going to be like, nah.
Yeah.
We ain't doing it like this. Do it like I said. It's like, but you're not a director or anything. But tough shit. Do it.
And because of all that, we got Scream 4.
Okay, one of the things we're going to get out of the way. There is an uprising of people that say Scream 4 is like great. Like not just good, not just okay, but they say it's like, oh, it's up there. It's up there. And I find it a little funny and a little weird because when I went to go see this shit in 2011 in theaters, I don't know where you guys were. I didn't see anybody in the fucking theater. This thing bombed like a motherfucker. Bombed hard. This was originally supposed to be the first one in a new trilogy, which I would have liked to know what the fuck those other two movies were going to be.
There's got to be like something out there, like an archives, like of like script notes or something.
There has to be something out there.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was underage when this came out. I didn't watch the first Scream movie until I was like 13. Like 2 years later, that's when I came across Scream. I was like 13. But yeah, it's crazy. I didn't know that shit bombed. I'm like, okay, like it's definitely now going through 1, 2, and 3, and now watching 4. I think 4 is at the bottom so far.
So far, we're going to, and keep your eyes peeled, because we're doing a ranking video after all of these videos.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to go through the whole series, and after that, you're going to get all your rankings, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. But yeah, I'm with him. Scream 4, so far.
At the bottom.
That's what I'm saying. I don't mind Scream 4. It's a cool movie. It's just kind of there. It's just kind of there.
There's like so many things about it that you can tell like it's different from the other 3. Like, you know, the first 3, the trilogy, you know, the whole story, it kind of led up to the third one, the final one. This fourth one was kind of like a soft reboot. It wasn't entirely trying to mimic the first movie or the rest of the sequels, but it definitely tried. It had some similarities and callbacks to the first one. And I feel like it's more like modernized, especially with like the music that they chose for this movie.
Yeah.
Red Right Hand wasn't in this movie. You barely had any rock music in this movie. But in the other ones, you had fucking like rock music. You had Red Right Hand, and now this one's like very like poppy and like, you know,
and 2011
modern.
Was that like LMFAO?
Oh yeah, like EDM
kinda,
or some shit. Yeah, it was so weird timing.
All that shit was coming out. That was pretty popular. So they went with that. But that's what Wes Craven wanted. Wes Craven wanted this to be noticeably different from the other 3 because it was going to set a whole new trilogy. And so they had to do that shit where they made the focus look fuzzy or whatever.
Like a smudge on the fucking lens. It was weird.
It looks like when you get into a dream world in Nightmare on Elm Street. When they find out their dream, everything's kind of like fuzzy.
Yeah, I can see that.
It kind of looks like that. The whole movie though looks like that, and it doesn't really bother me. But I know that bothers a lot of you guys.
Bothered the fuck out of me.
Yeah, see,
like
there's a lot of people that don't
lens.
like it, but it's because he wanted to separate them while keeping some of the same contents of the first 3. So he wanted to, and I'll tell you this: I think this is the best time that they've ever used the legacy characters and new characters in the same movie. They meshed these well. They gave enough for Sydney to do, enough for Dewey to do, enough for Gail to do.
And also have these new characters like Kirby, Charlie, Robbie, Jill.
All these new and you care equally about all these motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. But they did it beautifully. Like they really meshed both new generations together, and or old and new generations together. And yeah, it comes together very well.
Even though there's some
we'll get to another one coming up where they do this again, but like this one for right now, I think takes the cake on legacy characters coming back and having a new cast
and new blood. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
So I'll give them props for that, but we'll get into some positives right now. The real meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
So we have in the opening here, it's a callback to Tatum. We have that.
Well, first of all, there is like 3 openings.
There's 3.
Which was kind of confusing.
It's confusing. We'll get to that in the negatives.
Second. Yeah.
Once you get to the real one, the third one, it kind of loses its steam after a while. You're like, is this real? Is it not?
Yeah, is this real?
And then you're kind of not scared anymore. So anyway, we're going to talk more about that in the negatives. But how the bitch dies, or one of the bitches dies in the real opening scene. One girl gets her, does she get throat slit? The blonde chick?
Well, there's 2 blondes in there. I know one of them, she got like downstairs.
Oh no, she gets thrown through the window. You don't even see her die.
Yeah, you just hear on the phone getting stabbed or some shit, and then she just gets thrown through the window.
And he says that cool line. This is a horror movie. People live, people die, and you'd better start running. And then BAM! Through the window. That was tight. I like that. That was cool as fuck. And then right after that, chase scene. Ends up in the garage. She's trying to crawl out. She's not trying to crawl out of the hole like Tatum did.
No.
She's just trying to crawl out the fucking garage.
She got stabbed in the back and she's crawling.
The garage comes down, fucking smashes her back.
And you hear a little crack of the back.
That would never do that. You know, how annoying these fucking sensors are in the garages. that would never happen, but we go with it. But it's a callback to Tatum. And there's a few callbacks in here, but being somewhat of a like the whole theme here is it's all about remakes. And in a remake, you kind of take the best of the old movies and then you mesh some new stuff in. You kind of tweak it a little bit. So, yeah, it's similar. You know, there's some similarities between this one and Scream 1 because they're trying to remake it. Mm-hmm. And instead of doing it exactly like Scream 1 was done, they put their own flavor on it and they smashed her with the fucking garage and then he stabbed her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, they're just trying to, soft reboot, but they're also trying to keep the classic. They're trying to keep the same formula, but it's trying to, again, a new modern twist on it, which I guess...
That fucking shit would never work. That would never work.
That's the thing I saw. I was like, the sensors, like, that shit would fucking go right up, you know, like...
Maybe it was because people bitched about it in the first one so much that, like, oh, that would never happen. You can't carry a body up that... They're like, let's push this even further. You can't crawl out when a garage door's going to slam on you. It won't happen. The sensors, you know? So let's just fucking... let's just fuck with the audience. They might have done that. Anyway. Okay, moving on. Dewey's alarm when he wakes up in the morning. What is it?
Beverly Hills Cop.
We
just recently watched it. We watched the first 2, and yeah, when the first scene with Dewey and Gale, his alarm just goes off, and it's the fucking theme song to Beverly Hills Cop, which is kind of funny.
Like he said, it's really cool because right now, because if you guys don't know, Beverly Hills Cop's coming out this year.
Hell yeah.
2024, a new one, and we thought it'd be cool just to watch them. I don't know if you guys are interested in that. Let us know because we wouldn't mind talking about older stuff if you guys would like that. But yeah, Beverly Hills Cop. If you haven't seen it, check them out. We've only seen the first 2, but both of those are awesome. I've heard the third one kind of sucks, but just to hear that theme, you hear that theme so much, and you can't help it.
All the time, yeah. It's like
every time it comes on, you're like, hell yeah,
just vibing to it.
Yeah. So hearing Dewey have the same respect that we do for it now,
and he's a cop too.
Props. Yeah,
he's a cop,
sense.
So it's crazy.
Yeah, we have Dewey's the sheriff now. He's no longer a deputy.
Nope. Sheriff Dewey.
And he also, well, what does he look like?
He looks like a real fucking cop.
Finally.
Full mustache, deep ass voice.
Sexy as fuck.
Like he has, I can believe this guy is an actual sheriff. Like I guess before in the other 3 movies, he's kind of like, you know, he has like not a full mustache. He was like super like not believable. Like you can tell he was like not to be taken seriously.
He wanted to be taken seriously, but no one ever took him seriously.
No one took him seriously. And in this one, he's like grown, full mustache, deep ass voice. You can tell this guy means business.
Taking control of situations.
Yeah.
He's the head honcho over everybody. Dewey's a sheriff now. We thought that's perfect, too. If you're going to do it, it's been all this time. Yeah, make him the sheriff.
Yeah, perfect.
The Gale attack. When Gale gets attacked at the Stabathon, like we said in our first Scream 1 and Scream 2, there's scenes in there where music from other movies blends perfectly with the scene that's going on in this movie.
Yeah, so in the first one, it was Halloween.
Halloween was going perfect. And then the second one, it was Nosferatu going along with Cece on Scream 2. Mm-hmm. And in this one, it's kind of funny because it's Stab that's playing, and the music from Stab is going on while Gale is getting attacked by Ghostface, and it works perfect with that.
Because in the movie, they have Casey Becker fighting the Ghostface, and they have the stab music in the background, and that's going on at the same time that Gale's getting attacked by Ghostface or Charlie. I think we think it's Charlie on this one.
Charlie, and yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah,
we're gonna get into that. I can mention a few more here just to throw something out there. You guys know my journey with Gale and Dewey. In this one, they're married, but they're kind of rocky a little bit.
You can see like they're kind of falling apart.
And Officer Judy.
That's what I was gonna put right here. The beef between Gale and Deputy Judy is like they have hella beef only because this bitch wants her man, and she's like, "Get the fuck away from my man, dude!"
Yeah.
Like, do you know who I am?
Yeah,
I'm
your lemon
Gale
squares
fucking
taste
Weathers.
like ass.
Yeah.
I also have that just Gale in general. Gale in general, I think this is a perfect Gale. This is the best Gale's ever been. I think this is my favorite version of Gale because I feel like she does better without like a news team or anything. When there's nothing holding her back.
Yeah.
When there's nothing holding her back and she just work on her own, she's just trying to get the scoop from Dewey, and Dewey's not letting her because he's the sheriff now. She can't get that much involved anymore, and she's like, "Come on, motherfucker! I've solved gangs of these. Don't act like I'm not a part of this shit." You know what I mean?
3 times.
Yeah, yeah, and she's a bitch to the max again. She talks shit to the publicist just like she did with Nancy Loomis in Scream 2.
Yep.
Same thing going on here. There's a little callback. She doesn't have time for these people that worship her feet. She just wants the story and she wants to make money. I mean, come on.
Who doesn't?
I want to catch this fucker. You know? But anyway, Gale's the shit in this one. I think between this and Scream 2, I think those are her best looks.
I was gonna say, like, for me, I like her, like, yeah, like in Scream 2. She's a
Scream
bitch
2?
in that one, and then in this one too.
In this one, it was just about the time Courtney Cox started getting plastic surgery, and it was just enough. You shouldn't have done any more because you look great in this one. Everybody looks great. Dewey looks great. Sydney looks great.
Yeah.
The old cast looks really good. But anyway, all right. With that out of the way, what we're going to do now, you know it's coming. We got to talk about the negatives. And there's a shit ton in this one.
Unfortunately, yes.
As sad it is to say, but we don't like to shit on movies. We don't want to do this at all because we feel like you should just hear the positives and go make up your own mind. But in this one, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it because as much shit as I hear about Scream 3, you guys really need to take another look at Scream 4. Because
yeah, I feel like for us, the roles are reversed. Like, everyone's kind of hyping up Scream 4, but shitting on Scream 3, and us, we're fucking hyping up Scream 3, but kind of shitting on Scream 4 a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just feel like just take another watch of Scream 3. Just watch it again. It's definitely really impressive.
Compared to this. Because there's quite a few negatives. We have a few here.
Yeah.
The first one we're going to go with, the weak-ass openings, bro.
Yes, like we mentioned earlier.
Weak.
Too many, too confusing, and
too gay.
Too gay. Yeah, I mean, like the first one where it was like the flip phone, like the little flip. I forgot what it was called, like the sidekick or whatever the fuck it was called back in the day.
Yep.
And
I had
then,
one.
yeah, and then like the Channing Tatum photo, and then the girl goes outside and she's like, "There's no one out here," and then she took the phone like, "I'm right next to you," and gets fucking stabbed. What? And then she gets slit in the throat, and she just so that one was kind of decent. The second one with those two bitches' names, I forgot their names.
Sarah Marshall
and
Rogue from X-Men. Those chicks, they were
yeah.
The next one's them, and they're sitting on the couch.
And then she's like, "The stab movies they don't make no sense.
We're watching the death of horror right in front of us."
Yeah, and saying all this shit, and she's like, "Shut the fuck up and watch the movie."
It's funny, but it kills any kind of suspense that you're gonna have for the real one coming.
So it doesn't make any sense. And then we get the third one, which is the real one, and then even then, when I first watched it, I was like, "Is this real? Like, is this not gonna be another fucking
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody was confused. Like, what are we doing?
Again, that might be like the whole dream thing you're like talking about, probably like the whole dream, like dream within the dream or something. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it, but it doesn't make any sense.
Trying to make Scream 4 Inception right now. But yeah, like I agree. The opening, this is the worst opening we've ever seen. Even when it comes down to the real one. Except for that one cool line that Ghostface says, "And you'd better start running." That's cool as fuck. But after that, it's...
The fuck is this?
I mean, before that. After that, it's pretty good. Like, but it's just, I remember in the first Scream, just how intense that first opening scene was. You haven't had a movie in 11 years, and now you come back
come up with,
and you're gonna make a joke of the opening. You should come out with a banger, bro.
like that's the whole point of what makes Scream scream. Like, is the opening. Like, who's gonna die first? You know, like what's the tone they're gonna set? Like again, for Scream 3 in Hollywood, like fucking again the banger. You're ending with a fucking bang. You're in Hollywood, like you know, that's just the tone. This one just makes a mockery out of it. It's a mock. Like they're just mocking everything that they've done before. And it's like kind of it's offending basically.
I'm offended.
I'm offended.
I'm a little offended.
I'm triggered that they fucking did this.
We mentioned this earlier too, but I had to point it out when we were watching this last time. Dewey's limp is totally gone.
That was a fact that I just said that.
He just said it. That
Physical
it was 'cause
therapy.
of physical therapy over the years that he's fine. Okay, why? I'm assuming that you guys. Let's get this out of the way. Every video we make, we assume you guys have seen this stuff already. You've seen every Scream movie, and you've also seen a lot of reviews on Scream movies. So I'm going to spoil a little something out of the next one coming, Scream 5, because Dewey has his limp again. He even talks about it.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's just like, how did that happen? James kind of came up with something about like he might have been...
Like he
might have been, just because he's older, that shit might have
something.
fucked with him again. Okay, let's go with it. But, I mean... just make him walk normal if we're going to go this way. Because it looks weird as shit when Scream 4, you're fine. And then Scream 5, you're like, ugh, I got a limp, you know? I got a fun little limp. You know? Whatever, though. I picked that up, though. I picked that up when I first watched it, and I thought that was, you know, like, what happened? Can we explain this? Like, how does he not have a limp anymore? But anyway, Dewey doesn't have a limp. This is a big one right here. The attack at Jill's house when Kate... her own mother fucking dies. There's 2 killers there.
Yep.
Because they're about to run out the back door.
And you can see in the wind chimes.
And you see them in the wind chimes. They run to the front door, and there's already a Ghostface waiting for them right there. That's 2 people. It has to be.
Because there's no way he's in the back and he fucking like hauls ass to the front and not tripping over shit or something, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
They're there. And so all this shit happens. There's a big showdown. Whatever. Sydney's trying to protect Kate. Kate gets stabbed through the fucking door.
The mail box or the mail hole thing.
Through the mail slot in the door. She dies. And then she says...
she's like, tell Jill I'm sorry.
Oh, Jill comes in. Judy.
Judy comes in.
Judy comes in, says, what happened? Sydney's about to leave. Deputy Judy, comes from the back. She's like, what happened here? Where did you get that blood? And she's like, it's not mine, it's Kate's. The killer was just here. And yeah, she's dead. And then they go back in the house. Judy's looking at the body. She makes sure she's dead. She calls it in. And then Sydney fucking bails because she knows that Kirby's house is the hot spot where everybody's at, where it's going to go down. It takes Sydney so fucking long to get there. But right after that scene, the very next scene is Charlie and Jill hanging out at Kirby's house. Jill's sitting there with popcorn. Charlie's sitting there like nothing ever happened, drinking a Red Bull, like nothing happened. How in the fuck did they get there that fast? This is literally the next scene. Kate dies. The cops die.
Yeah.
Cops get killed. And they had time somehow to teleport and get the fuck over there that quick. Because they look like they've been chilling at Kirby's house for a minute.
Like it's like the time it takes not only Sydney but the cops to fucking get to Kirby's house
A long ass time.
And either you would have noticed, you would have seen them fucking like ditching the Ghostface costume and getting in the car or fucking driving
What's going on, guys?
or something, you know, doesn't
Were
make
you
any
watching Step
sense.
7? What's up?
Like that doesn't make any sense that it's like the next scene that should happen. And it's weird.
The very next scene, they're at the house chilling already. How in the hell did they kill Kate and the 2 cops and get back to the house in time? We have a suggestion, though.
Oh, yeah.
What if, and I'm not talking about Creed what if, I'm talking about real what if for now. What if Sam was helping them out back in the day?
Theory in progress, by the way.
Sam could have been involved with this. You guys could help us with this theory because it all matches up.
It does.
Like I said, we assume you guys have seen all these already, so you're gonna go with us on this one. In Scream 5, what does she say?
She discovers her mom's diaries when she was 13 that Billy Loomis was her actual father. When she was 13.
13.
And an average high school freshmen are 14.
So
and she's in Woodsboro.
And she's psychotic. So she might have, after she found that out, might have joined forces with Charlie and Jill and helped out a little bit. And we didn't know. Because Billy, Ghost Dad Billy, he says, when are you going to tell them why all this is happening?
And maybe,
we all took it about like...
But him being the father of her with all that shit.
But what if he meant something else? Like, you've already killed people. And I know it. You know it. You know? And maybe someone had some dirt on Sam. I don't know. All I'm saying is, you can help us out with this one. If you guys have a cool little addition to that, that'd be really cool. Because this is something we love doing, is coming up with... They're never going to happen. But these theories are super fun to come up with. And yeah, that can make some sense. Because there is still 2 killers at Jill's house.
Yeah.
So it still doesn't quite make sense all the way. But Sam could have been one of those killers. We still have to figure out the other one. Who's the other one? Crazy theory. We kind of got off there a little bit, but we thought it was fun. And isn't that kind of cool? Like, wouldn't that be a cool theory? She's fired, so it's never going to happen. But just to go along with the story, let's just make a Scream movie, you know? Let's just have some fun and just...
an alternate universe.
Right.
You know?
Like, that could have happened, you know?
Making her, like, the main character, the protagonist, but it turns out they just flip a bitch on us and say, hey, you know what? She's actually fucking the bad guy all along.
Yeah. Yep. And in this, the whole point of Scream 4 is they're literally trying to make their own movie.
Yep.
They're live streaming. They're catching everything on video because Jill wants to play victim and look like the hero in all this. Charlie wants to make a movie. And they need proof of all this stuff. So they have cameras everywhere throughout this thing.
He's also trying to be like the Randy.
When Jill comes out to reveal herself, she takes out the fucking camera.
From the mask.
Okay, yeah, from the mask. She takes out the camera.
It says all their shit.
And she says a bunch of shit. And she's like, don't need this anymore. Or something like that. And it's just like, bitch, you just there's no voice changer.
Yeah, and she turns off the camera. So she basically like revealed herself.
Like, who could it be?
They didn't think that went through. There's like 1 million people on that set. And then they didn't think like, hey, maybe she shouldn't say anything. Or
how did they not catch that?
Or click end and
or
then
maybe
talk?
that was going to open up like... Maybe this ending wasn't supposed to happen at the hospital. Maybe there was supposed to be another ending to where they found some footage and the voice matched, and then maybe she went psycho. You know what I mean? Where she...
like Saw?
Yeah, exactly like with Hoffman.
Yeah, with Hoffman and Saw, yeah.
Like that, to where like she thinks she's off the hook, and then they're like, oh, we looked into it a little more, and this voice seems to match Jill. And then Sydney's like, what? You know, or something. Maybe she doesn't remember. And then bam, like all this stuff. I don't know.
Boom, final act.
So I'm wondering, because you said there was another writer came in. The guy that did Scream 3.
Yeah, Aaron Kruger came in.
So I wonder if he meddled that. I wonder if he fucking muddied those waters and fucked it all up. I don't know, because it seems weird that she would start talking and all this stuff and then don't need this anymore or whatever she said, and then fucking turns it off. And it's like, okay, well, you just kind of outed yourself there a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Usually we may, and this is the first one where like Charlie didn't do a reveal.
No, he just stabbed. He stabbed
that was
Kirby.
His reveal.
That was his reveal.
So that's kind of new.
Then they did it again in Scream 5 too.
Oh yeah,
with Richie.
Yeah. But right now
it was like a new fresh take on it. Like like there's only one reveal.
Nancy did it too.
We fucked that up.
And Stu. So I guess. Well, Stu and Billy didn't unmask themselves.
No. That's
so
true.
I guess we're talking out our ass. So those were a bunch of negatives, but we don't want to deter you from watching the movie. So we're going to fill it up again with a couple more positives, just so we end on a positive note. And you guys check this out because it's a good movie. Or go watch it again. It deserves it.
All right, so some honorable mentions that we have for positives was the second death in the movie, which Olivia was the second death. And it was just her getting a knife through the hand. After the whole reveal, like the whole phone call with like the check in the closet, all that shit. Oh, I didn't say it was your closet. And then he comes out, fucking stabs her in the hand, starts throwing her around. Like, that's pretty brutal. And then aftermath was just her gut just fucking...
It is brutal. Yeah, her fucking sausages hanging out. That was pretty gross. Pretty gnarly, but... And then when Sydney goes back in the room and she sees the aftermath with her sausages hanging out, there's fucking blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, Charlie fucks people up. we have reason to believe that Charlie did most of the killing in this.
For sure. I mean, you kind of see. That's another thing that kind of surprised me too, was that even though Jill is revealed to be a Ghostface killer, she was pretty much like on camera like the entire movie. Like,
yeah.
That's why like when she was revealed, I was like, that actually shocked me. I was like, what the fuck, you know? Because it was like she was on the screen or on camera the entire time.
And her motive is lame.
That's kind of a lame
I get
motive.
it though, because people are like that, man. They want to be victims
So badly.
to get some spotlight.
Some clout.
And yeah, it's not going to get you anywhere. So unless you're Sidney Prescott, who's not trying to be a victim.
No.
You keep making her a fucking victim. And it keeps happening to her. And Jill wants that same spotlight, but nah. You don't get it. You don't get it. What else do we have?
Let's see what else we got.
Charlie's brutal, for sure. Charlie does fuck people up. This is cool. Like when they say that, you know, in like every Scream movie, when they make a new one, they're like, I've never seen one like this before. This is crazy. This is next level. And every sequel, you got to have, you know, more blood, more guts, all this kind of stuff. This one actually, when it's like a remake, it's got to be better kills and all this kind of shit. It really is honest about it.
Oh,
Scream 4 has some great kills.
there was another fact that I debated on even talking about, but it was just, might as well just bring it up now.
Yeah.
Apparently, up until Scream 4, it had the most kills than the other three movies.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It had the most up until that point. I don't know if it has any more now, but at that point, Scream 4 had the most kills.
So it was honest finally for what it was saying.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much about those honorable mentions of like positives.
Yeah, so go check it out. We're gonna do a ranking at the end of all these, but for right now, go watch it. Go watch it, make up your own mind. And if you're one of those people that says it's so awesome, I want to know why. Because we found more negatives in this one than we have in the past three, and we're still going. So we still have two more to go. But so far, yeah.
And some negatives that, you know, we don't want to mention because everyone talks about it, like the fuck Bruce Willis thing. Like everyone's been talking about that.
I think people like that. I hated that. I hated the fuck Bruce Willis line when what's his name?
Perkins.
Yeah, Officer Perkins gets stabbed right in the head, which is cool. You know, it starts with that. That looks crazy. You know,
And then the
just
chocolate
blood
syrup is coming down his face. Chocolate syrup.
and then he's swinging and doing all this shit, and then he falls down, and then fuck Bruce Willis, and goes down.
That kind of killed it.
Yes. I don't know why they had that in there. I think that might have been some Aaron Kruger shit.
Oh, well, there is one that I see as a negative, but he sees it as a positive.
Oh, yeah.
For me, it was when, at the end, final act, at the hospital, Jill comes in after, you know, Dewey leaves her room and then goes talk to Gail. And, well, you know, she said about, you know, writing a book together with your matching wounds. She's like, why she got stabbed in the shoulder too? He's like, how did she know? And then they finally realize, oh, fuck, you know. At that point, when Dewey comes in, Jill's already fucked up. Like, she messed herself up at the house, throwing herself against the wall, stabbing herself, pulling her own hair. Like, she messed herself up. How is it that Dewey, Judy, Gail, Sydney, like, all these fucking adults who are probably bigger than her, this scrawny little bitch, and she managed to fuck everybody up? 2 cops.
But see, that's what I like. Just like I said, how Charlie is fucking nuts, Jill is fucking nuts too. I don't like her reveal that great. I mean, whatever. But yeah, like what you said. Well, first she blasts her fucking man or ex-man in the dick. Don't you ever cheat on me? Blam! Like that. Kills him, shoots him in the head, doesn't give a shit.
Nope.
Moves on, kills Charlie.
Yeah.
Stabs him in the heart, tricks his ass.
That's not what we rehearsed.
And then she totally slipped when she said that stupid shit about Gail and let's write a book together. And
Matching wounds and all that shit.
But when she's unleashed, god damn. I mean, she went psychotic. She's crazy. She punches Sydney right in her fucking gut where she got stabbed.
Just open
her stitches are bleeding.
Yeah.
Dewey comes in. She beats the shit out of him with the bedpan. Gail comes in. Officer Judy comes in, tackles Gail, fucking puts her behind the bed. She gets the upper hand on Judy.
Tossing the gun,
and then blasts her.
She's like, don't do anything stupid. And blah! And
then blasts her.
Don't fucking tell me what to do.
And then Gail comes in. And she's like, okay. Like doing the hands up thing or whatever. And this is where Jill fucks up because she doesn't know that Sydney's... She should think by now that Sydney's gonna fuck you up. If you didn't make sure there's a bullet in that bitch's head, she's gonna fuck you up.
They always come back. They always come back.
And then you get the dumb line with clear, and then Sydney comes up behind her with the defibrillator.
Yeah.
Fucking takes her out, and then she says that really cool ass line. What is it? Oh, you forgot one thing about remakes. Never fuck with the original. Walks away. Badass. Badass on Sydney's part. Yeah, mic drop moment. But yeah, just the fact. And then they shoot her. They didn't do the headshot on her.
They just shot her in the chest.
So I wonder if Jill was getting set up for later movies in that trilogy.
Back.
Yeah.
But that bitch is dead now.
Because every other Ghostface gets one in the head. That's how you know they're dead. When you want to really know, except for Stu. Mickey didn't get shot in the head. I guess the one that's pulling the strings gets shot in the head.
I think so.
And this is one of the few times where
Like
nobody got shot in the head. Charlie didn't get shot in the head, and
yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
It's strange. But anyway, all in all, Scream 4 is a fun watch. Kirby's awesome. That's another positive. I love Kirby. Everybody loves Kirby. Kirby's great in this. The new cast is good. Yeah, the old cast blends well with it. It's a fun watch, but it doesn't really make sense in the whole franchise. It's kind of just there, and they kind of have to work with it because it's there, so they have to keep adding stuff from that time. But if you really want to make it work, and if Melissa Barrera didn't get fired, God, he could have made something cool with her being a secret killer in Scream 4. Anyway.
Her and Kincaid.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think this about wraps it up. Thanks for watching, and keep your eyes peeled for Scream 5 coming next week.
Hell yeah.
See you then. Rock hard,